doy una bien calurosa bienvenida de parte de la ciudad de Hialeah, de parte del hombre, primero Dios, pero aquí en Hialeah el que hizo pasar esto, el que organizó esto fue...
Cuba's really my favorite, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I love Cubans because y'all turn into conservative Republicans immediately after getting to America. The second that foot dry, you're like, okay, end the immigration. He said no. He said no. Hey, he said no immigration. Hey, it's too many people. We need a system. We need law. I cannot play domino at the table. There's too many people coming. How I play domino if everybody coming?
I mean, true. Also, the reason they're Republicans is because they came from Cuba, where the communists wrecked everything. That would be the thing.
I can't stand his fucking face. Sometimes, you know what I mean by he just got a punchable face, bro.
A lot of Cubans in Miami and South Florida voted for Trump, understanding that his intention was to deport people. They never thought those deportations would apply to Cubans. They thought it would apply to other people because Cubans have always had an advantage in the U.S. There's something, passed by under Lyndon Johnson's administration, the Cuban Adjustment Act, which basically gave Cubans a welcome no other immigrants had. It gave them a fast track to residency and then to citizenship. That is still the law of the land. So Cubans assumed that whatever happened generally with deportation would not apply to them because of the Cuban Adjustment Act. But in practice, the Cuban Adjustment Act is not being observed. So Cubans are being detained. They show up for regular immigration check-ins and they're being detained. They show up for asylum hearings and judges dismiss their cases, which means that they're eligible for deportation. I think it will change. It may change Cuban-American attitudes towards Trump. It made him definitely less popular. People I talk to in Miami see it. You hear it. I know it from relatives who are Republicans who voted for him, who are very unhappy with the immigration policies. So I do think it has a potential to make a real impact in voting practices. The question is what will happen in Cuba.
See, and this is my problem. We have people coming here who don't want people coming here, which is crazy, and then get mad at Americans for feeling like they don't want you coming here. Like, how can a Cuban ever get mad at any true American for telling you they don't want you here when you're doing the same thing to the immigrants that are coming here? And I really think it was because Trump said they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, that all of a sudden they came. And like in the last clip, what they were saying was that they were brought over here and used as a tool to be like, look how good the Cubans are doing over here. But under Fidel Castro over there, they couldn't even survive and blah, 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 blah. So these motherfuckers feel special or entitled or like they are really true Americans and they're true to the soil. But really, to be honest, you're not. And these are the type of immigrants I don't want around. You know what I mean? Because if you can't even be loyal to your own people, you're not going to be loyal to us when the shoe drops. You know what I mean? You're going straight on the other side for sure, because that's just the type of people you are. But let's keep on.
They didn't just come to survive, they came to lead. Here are 5 powerful truths about how Cuban immigrants helped turn Miami into one of the most politically active cities in the U.S. You'll want to stay for truth number 1. Truth number 5. By the 1980s, Cuban Americans weren't just residents of Miami. They were organizing, mobilizing, and winning elections. From local commissioners to school boards, Cuban voices were being heard at every level. Truth number 4. This didn't happen by accident. It was built on strong community organizing, cultural pride, and an unshakable belief in democracy. Voting became a mission passed down from generation to generation. Truth number 3. The Cuban exile experience shaped a clear political identity. Rooted in anti-communism and freedom of expression, it gave Miami a voice that was bold, unified, and impossible to ignore. Truth number 2. And that influence went national. Names like Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, Marco Rubio, and the Diaz-Balarts became part of U.S. political history, proving that Cuban Americans didn't just participate, they helped shape policy across the country. Truth number 1. Miami didn't just welcome Cuban immigrants. Cuban immigrants helped define Miami. They brought culture, leadership, and a political legacy that still shapes elections, policies, and identities today. This isn't just history, it's living legacy. Drop a flag in the comments if you're proud of what the Cuban community has built in Miami. And follow for part 4, where we dive into the moment that shook Miami, the Elian Gonzalez saga.
My problem with immigrants is, I don't mind what they built in Miami. That's fine, but they pushed out all the black people who were there. And then when black people come to Miami to visit, the Cubans that treat us like we ain't shit. Well, nigga, this is our country that we fought for. You wasn't even here. You wasn't even on this soil when we was fighting for the land. You know what I mean? When we were fighting for freedom, when we were fighting for the rights that you enjoy today, you weren't on the land. Now all of a sudden you here, you think you can disrespect the people who were already here. I know this is gonna be a hot take, but let me say, I don't think nobody with an immigrant background should be able to be in politics. Period, point blank. That's just how I feel about it. I don't give a fuck. If you got an immigrant background, you shouldn't be able to be in politics because your ideals probably don't align with regular Americans' ideals. You know what I mean? It's a difference. White Americans and black Americans have this culture of you grow up, you become grown, you become a man, you take care, you get a family of your own, you take care of them, you provide for them, you get old, you die, cycle continues with your kids or the next generation or whatever. Now, probably in their country, they probably would have that same mentality. I don't know what mentalities they have in their country, but they come here, and this is my problem. You come here and you don't you have the mentality of we're in a foreign place. We don't know the language. We don't know this. We need to stick together. Safety in numbers, which is good. We need to work together. We need to put our money together. We need to do this. And then you get this superiority complex like you're doing better than regular Americans when you're not. Y'all are living 13 to a house and then y'all save up enough money to get a new car and y'all take turns and get each other new cars and shit. And then y'all act like y'all are doing better than niggas when really you're not. We have this mindset and it's not immigrants' fault. It's black Americans' fault for taking on this white man's mindset of not being a family unit after 18. You know what I mean? We want to push away from our people. We want to stun on our people. And it's not just the white man who did it. It's a part of the materialism we see in the music and everything that we push in hip hop, fake hip hop culture, SpongeBob rapper culture. You know what I mean? Video out on that. But yeah. Yeah. It's sick, y'all. It's fucking sick. So I don't have a problem with immigrants. I just don't think they should come to our country and be fucking politicians. Not at all. Because you're coming with you came from a communist country with a communist mindset. And if not, you're traumatized from the communist mindset and you think because it didn't work there, it can't work here. Or vice versa. It could not be a communist. It could be an authoritarian or a capitalistic. It doesn't matter. You might have ideals in your society like about, I don't know, let's just say gay rights. I know in Arab countries or certain African countries, you get killed for that. And then you come here. Most of us don't give a fuck about a nigga being gay. That's on you. That's between you, yourself, God, do you. You know what I mean? But you motherfuckers come here and try to push the issue. Now we got arguing over transgender bathrooms and dumb shit that don't even matter because you're running interference for the white man. And that's exactly what it is. So for me, it's like I stand by what I said. I don't think anybody with an immigrant background should be able to be in politics in America at all. I don't give a fuck. You first, second, you at least got to be a fifth generation, fourth generation at least. Fourth generation. Let's give it another couple years for them to stay here, get you acclimated to the actual climate and what's going on here, and then they can start being politicians. But you can't move here in the first generation. We got people like Byron Donalds out here saying African Americans don't deserve. What do they need it for? What do they need reparations for? Nigga, you're from Grenada. Go back. That's what the fuck you could do, because this don't got nothing to do with you. But the immigrants come here and they're like, well, we worked hard. We did this. Why do they get a handout? Bitch, this don't got nothing to do with you. This is my beef with them. Why are you even getting involved? But it's because you're trying to cape for the white man, and we all know what you're trying to do, so keep that shit over there, you weirdos. But let's get back.
Myself, I'm Cuban. My whole family is immigrants. So you would think, hey, I'm pro-immigrant. He can offend Cubans tomorrow and I wouldn't care. As long as my life is better and my peers are enjoying their life as well.
What I would like to see is more jobs come up here, less war, a backbone for America, a better immigration policy. My father came here, got us all citizenships from overseas. He had 4 children. He brought us into all those things to give us a better future. Things are haywire. Let's see what we could get done in this go around with Trump.
I know tons of people that just came from Cuba 20 years ago, doctors, and they've done their American dream, they've done their due process.
I wanted to see Trump back in the White House. And I think people who come here legally, or people who are here and see what is going on with the immigration and how they're giving thousands and thousands of dollars for these people who are coming here, money that they could be spending on the problems that we have.
True that. See, nothing they said there was false. Yeah, we want safer country. Yeah, we want more jobs to be brought back. Yeah, even regular Americans want those things. But the difference is, in America, we like to try to like stick to the status quo, stick to what's good, try to go for what's best. So it doesn't matter if you get one or two good things. But I will say, it doesn't matter whether they go Republican or Democrat. It's two sides of the same coin, both evil as shit. So I don't understand why anybody will be going for either. We need our own party. And I know that's easier said than done. And when you get a choice like Kamala versus Trump, I would say vote for Kamala, not because I believe in what Kamala says or I believe in her or I even like the bitch. I don't even like the bitch. But it's better than Trump. I mean, come on now. Now we know why Trump actually got voted in, because he's white. It's not because Kamala not even black. She Indian. I don't know where the fuck she from. She ain't one of us though. But yeah, her ass can get on too. You know what I mean? So I hope none of y'all are getting stuck on either of these plantations, because they no good for you. They no good. They no good. They no good.
They didn't just flee Castro. They built a political machine powerful enough to run Miami. Follow for Cuban Immigration, the most documented plus controversial series. Number 3, the Cold War boost. After 1959, Washington poured millions into Cuban exile programs, housing, jobs, even business loans. Why? To prove Cuban exiles were thriving while communism failed. This was more than charity, it was U.S. propaganda. Number 2, the rise of exile power. By the 1970s and 1980s, Cuban Americans weren't just surviving in Miami, they were winning elections. From mayors to commissioners, Cuban leaders dominated city politics in record time. Exile-owned banks, businesses, and media fueled their influence. Spanish-language radio didn't just play music, it preached anti-Castro politics, shaping how Miami voted. Question: was this democracy or a Cold War machine? Number 1, the legacy. Today, politicians from both parties still court Miami's Cuban vote like it's gold. From Reagan to Trump to Biden, every president knows exile politics can swing Florida. No other immigrant group in U.S. history has reshaped a city's power structure this fast. Here's the deep question. Was Miami's Cuban success story built on grit or government favoritism? Another question, should one exile group have this much sway over U.S. foreign policy? Yes or no, did you know Cuban exile politics still shape presidential elections today? Comment exile power if this opened your eyes. Drop a comment if your family lived it. Follow for Episode 5, Calle Ocho and Little Havana Culture as
I'll never understand Latinos that flee socialism and come to the United States to vote Democrat. If you come from a country like Cuba, Venezuela, Colombia, why? Why are you repeating the same story that destroyed your countries?
Because most immigrants in this country don't want to get involved. I mean, don't get me wrong, I used to live in Kentucky, the second largest community of Cubans in the United States. Majority of them conservative, majority of them Republicans. Not one of them, with the exception of maybe 5, wanted to get involved with the local Republican Party, wanted to have their story told, and so on and so forth. By large, Americans, especially Latino immigrants that are coming from Cuba or a socialist country, don't want to get involved in politics. They don't want to have a voice, they don't want to have their story told, and so on and so forth. And if you know somebody that wants to do that, I will give my platform to them. They can come on my podcast, on my platform, and I will give them the time of day. The problem is, it's very hard to find these immigrants that are okay with their story to be told on social media. I don't know. Maybe it's because they don't care, maybe because they work too much, maybe because they have families and they don't want to jeopardize that, and so on and so forth. But the problem, the root problem, is that immigrants in this country from former socialist and communist regimes refuse to get involved in politics. And we need to do a better job promoting their voices and making sure that they understand that they have a voice and we care about.
But it's been your boy Hendo. I truly appreciate y'all for checking in, though. Like, comment, subscribe. Hype this video up. Get in the comments. I just fucking around. We out, y'all. We out.